The back. We're going to do about preemptive bids. Now, I'm going to try and talk slower. Right? Preemptive bids are useful because they prevent the opposition from maybe finding a good contract that they would be able to play in. You don't necessarily think you're going to make your contract, but it stops them from making a contract. Also, long suits are very useful. You can make a slam with 20 points if you've got length, even though normally you need 33. So length is always important. As we know, we learned early on, length before strength. Preempts are opening at the 3 level with 7 card suit and at the 4 level with an 8 card suit. But you can also open at the 2 level with a 6 card suit. Now, not everybody plays what we call weak 2s. Some people play strong 2s. And strong 2s was the most popular way of playing until probably the last 10 years, when it's become apparent that the weak 2 comes up far more often than the strong 2. And so a lot of people have gone over to playing weak 2s now. But if you're playing elsewhere, you will often find that people still play strong 2s. No questions yet, thank you. Go on then, what is it, Ingrid?
Well, you know, 2 clubs.
I haven't gone to that yet. That's totally different. Yeah, I will go to that, sorry. Yeah. Thanks. So you can open a weak 2 with a 6 card suit if you've got 2 honours in that suit and 5 to 9 points. That's all you need, which is amazing really when you need 11 or 12 points to open at 1 level. At the 2 level, you need less points. Who would think? So, but you cannot open a weak 2 in clubs because because we haven't, I don't know if we've learned that yet, but 2 clubs is a totally different bid. Did we learn that? It's funny, isn't it? The club bid is used for so many different things. It's used in Stamen, and that's when your partner was on a trump and you respond to 2 clubs. But it's also used as an opening bid of 2 clubs, and it shows a very strong hand, which we haven't learned yet. It's so difficult with bridge. There's so much to learn, and it's what order do you teach it in? Because if you teach this first and they haven't learned that, they won't understand it, and if you teach that first, they won't understand that, and it's like, so today I thought I'm teaching this, and I thought it's going to be all these things crop up that I haven't taught them, but then if I teach the other things, so is it often the case with bridge that you learn something, and I might tell you one thing, and then in a few weeks, I've told you this before, that it might change slightly, because although it's not wrong what I'm telling you, there's always alternatives to everything. So anyway, we're going to learn weak 2s, not strong 2s. And so you want a 6 card suit with 2 honours, but not in clubs. So I'm going to put, where have they gone? I've prepared some hands. I'm going to put on here, and I want you to tell me if you would open them a week 2 or not. So, they would stick, wouldn't they?
Honor.
Yes.
Do you know what? Honor, not
I put them on the wrong side.
the picture cards.
Yeah, that's the
Honors
wrong
are picture cards. Isn't it, David? Honors are picture cards.
one.
Sorry?
It's Jack and honor.
There we go.
Honors are picture cards.
Who'd have thought?
Tens on that as well.
Who'd have thought?
That's the thing I find out.
But yeah, it's not.
I thought it was called the intermediate.
It's also, it doesn't fit.
It is very good, this.
Well, it is, but it doesn't fit very well. Right, so you can't really, so based on what I've told you, would you open that with a week?
No.
No.
Good, you all get a point. Right, okay, so if I change,
No 2 honors.
if I change this to this,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
good, got it. That's simple, isn't it? See? You don't need me.
But if you had queen and 10, wonder,
Well,
depends
you
on the
could
other
probably,
cards.
queen 10, they would hold the 10 on that, so you could probably open it. Depends on your...
Depends on the other cards.
Right. Now, there's one thing. You wouldn't open A weak 2 if you had the other 4 card majors. So say you had 6 diamonds and 4 hearts. Don't open diamonds because you might prevent your partner from having, you might miss a heart fit. So if you've got another major, don't really open.
Even if you've just got 5 to 9 points?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just pass and see what happens.
And your honours are in the weak diamond?
Yeah. Or if you've got 6 spades and 4 hearts, or 6 hearts and 4 spades, if you've got the other major, don't open a weak 2 because you might miss out a fit. Remember, your bid's preemptive and your partner has a bid, so just be a bit cautious of doing that. But otherwise, yes, open it. I was going to say something, but it's gone.
So you're opening the preemptive as overcall as well?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well done, you read my mind. Yeah. If the opposition open 1 heart and you've got 6 spades,
Yeah.
you can say stop 2 spades. Now that is weak jump, showing a 6 card suit and 5 to 9 points.
Can you start that again? I missed that. Yeah. Sorry.
If the opposition open 1 heart
So you've got 5 to 9 points.
and you've got 5 to 9 points, you had that hand that I had on the board a minute ago,
Yeah.
you can jump. You know, because normally you go, there's 1 heart, and if you've got 8+ points in the 5 card suit, you'd go 1 spade, wouldn't you, in an
Yeah.
overcut? If you've got 6 spades, you can jump to 2. You have to have 2 of the honours, two of the honours, but you can jump to 2 spades to show. It's just to get in the way. Really gets in the way of the opposition.
Yes,
It's really annoying.
So when would you go?
Why would you what?
Just to
So
get
who's
it.
got the 6 speeds? Is that the opening bit?
No, the overcall.
The overcall?
Yeah, you can open it with 6. You open right. So if you've got a 6 card suit and 2 honours, but not clubs, you can open. That's the first bid that anybody's made at the table. You open 2,
Yeah.
right? But if you've got this hand and the opposition have not your partner, it has to be the opposition has opened 1 of a suit, you can jump to show that you're weak. Now again, not everybody plays its jump as weak. Some people play it as an intermediate. I play it as an intermediate, but a lot of people play it as weak. As long as you know what your partner's doing, you'll be okay. But make sure you know, don't you, David?
What do you mean you play
What's
as
an
intermediate?
David got into trouble at the Congress with his partner because she played weak jump overcalls and he played intermediate strong
Yeah.
jump
what's
overcalls.
intermediate?
What is intermediate strong?
Intermediate jump overcalls, and you've got an opening hand in the 6 card suit. But we don't need to talk about that. I mean, you play a weak jump overcall. Okay?
But we want to know
So
that.
how many points have you got to have?
I'm going to call a David afterwards.
Right, we're going on to that, yeah.
After the call.
Yeah. Okay, so we know how to open a week 2.
Yeah.
See, it's in bridge, always the first part of it's dead easy. You know. It's what you do next, it becomes complicated. Right, so if you're responding to your partner's week 2 opening and you've got 0 to 4 points, pass. Just pass. If you've got a fit, and remember you only need 2 cards for fix, they've got 6, you can raise them. Again, you might only have 8 points, but you can raise them because you're getting in the way of the opposition again. So you can raise them maybe to 3, maybe to game, depending on your hand. That's why it's sort of quite difficult because everything depends on how many different hands are there. Whether you've got singletons, whether you've got voids, whether the opposition have bid, whether there's all sorts of computations that could happen when you're playing cards, and every player will assess, not every player, but a lot of players will assess their hands differently. Some people will think, yeah, I think that's worth a raise, and other people will be more cautious and think, no, I'll leave it. So there's a lot of judgment in bridge, and you've got to try and use your judgment as best as you can. And if you think your partner's made a bad judgment, you shouldn't tell them off.
Just kidding.
You should just accept it.
Liz never does this.
You should just accept that their judgment is how it is.
What's the word?
Now, if you happen to have a good 6 card suit of your own, and it might be a stronger suit than theirs, you can bid that suit to show that you've got a good suit. Okay?
At the 2 level?
At the 2 or 3, if you jump, it's even stronger, but you can show at the 2 level. if you can. I mean, if they've opened 2 hearts and you've got diamonds, then you don't have
do
difficult.
three.
But you'd have to go to 3, yeah. But you can bid your 6 card suit, especially if they've opened a minor and you've got a good major. Yeah, generally you want to be in a major rather than a minor. So if they've opened a 6 card minor, which would only be diamonds because they couldn't have opened 2 clubs, and you've got a good major, you could bid that to 2 level. Now that bid is not forcing, they can pass that bid, but it is sort of invitational. So if they've got a reasonable hand, they would be encouraged to bid again, either to rebid their suit or to accept yours. You should have at least 6 of that. They should know that you've got 6. You shouldn't be bidding it just because you've got 4 spaces, the ace, king, queen, because they will expect you to have 6, and they might well put you to game with 2. So don't change the suit with a without 6 cards in it. And never rescue your partner because you think, oh, I don't like that, I've got none of theirs, I'll just bid this. Don't do that. Just leave them. If they've dug their own hole, you leave them in it, don't you? Don't you?
But they try to kill you then.
Also, if you've got a balanced hand and 15 plus points, you can respond to no trumps. Now again, that is invitational. They don't have to respond to that. If they're very weak, they can just repeat their suit and say 3 of it, and then you should pass. If they're very strong, they can maybe go to 4 because you're showing 15 plus points, so they can bid 4. If they have got their hand they think is quite balanced and it's strong, they could even bid 3 no trumps. Like I say, it's all a judgment. I mean, some players play that when their partner said no trumps, they show a feature. So if they've got an ace or a king or something in another suit, they would bid that. But that gets a bit complicated. There's all sorts of bids that you can do over that. But if we try and keep it simple as possible in bridge, it's not easy to keep
It
it
is
simple.
obviously if you've got 4 cards, you've got a balanced hand, and you've got 4 partners.
No, if you've got 4 in your partner's suit, you just go to game.
You just bid them.
You just go to game, yeah.
go to game, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because the partner could just have 6 points or 5 points, the one who's doing the weak bid.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware that,
They might have 5, 5 or
Yeah.
6. So they would just then rebid their suit below at the 3 level, and then you should just pass, because you know they're very weak. So that's opening 2 hearts or 2 spades or 2 diamonds. They're all weak 2s. Does everybody understand that? Yeah. Good. So next thing is the preempts. And these are with 7 and 8 card suits. But you need 2 of the top 3 honours for this. So you need either an ace and a king and a queen, or an ace and a queen. You need 2 of them to open. You need 7 cards to open at the 3 level, and again 5 to 9 points. And with this one you can open 3 clubs, so all the suits are preempts. So if you open any of them, and if you've got 8 of them, you can open at the 4 level. Well, I would caution against opening at the 4 level if you're vulnerable. You might sometimes you might just downgrade your hand a notch, especially if it's the minor suits. So you might want to, your partner might have a good hand, and they might want to say 3 no trumps over your preempt, because you don't really want to be in a minor suit. But again, well, obviously you know what to do. You open at the 3. Now, to respond to your partner's opening at the preempt.
Excuse me, for the 3 and 4, you showed ace, king, queen, not like jack.
No, you need 2 of them. You don't need all 3, just 2 of them.
They're the top honours. You need 2 of the top honours, Vina.
Now, you need 2 of the top honours in the 1st and 2nd position. Ingrid. But in the 3rd position or 4th position, you can have less than the 2 of the top honours, and that is because your partner's already had a chance to bid. So you can open weaker, and you can always open weaker in the 3rd or 4th seat than you can in the 1st and 2nd seat. So once your partner's passed, you can open you don't need 2 of the top honours.
The reason why you need 2 of the top honours is that if your partner is strong, you might be in the possibility of a slam. You might be aiming for a slam. and it's really useful to know that you've got two of the top honours. By the time, if your partner's passed, then it doesn't matter because you know you're not going to be in a slam by the time it comes round to you. So you can bid, that's why you can bid it.
But it's also, say you've opened 3 diamonds and you've got 2 of the top honours, and your partner knows that, and they've got a really nice hand, and they think 3 no trumps is going to be on, because they can guarantee, say they've got the ace of diamonds, they can guarantee they've got 7 tricks in diamonds, and they've got a couple of outside aces, so they know they're going to make it. So it gives them assurance, they know that you've got that bid, so they're quite confident when they say 3 no trumps that you are going to put down on the table 7 diamonds with the two of the top honours, and they will make their contract.
So how many?
Yesterday it happened, and someone, where I put 3 and then my partner went 3 no trumps and we made it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in an iron, you'd be better in no trumps. But in a major suit, if they open 3 hearts, you've got a nice hand. If you've got no hearts, say you've got 16 points, or even not even that, say 16 points and no hearts, you would still say 4 hearts. You wouldn't say 3 no trumps or anything else, because your partner's got 7 hearts. They might have king, queen, jack, 7 hearts and nothing else. They might just have king, queen and nothing else. No other entry to that hand. If you bid no trumps with no entry, with no hearts or even just 1 heart, you're never getting to the table to make those hearts. So you cannot bid no trumps if you've got 1 or none. You have to have an entry to those. So in that case, you're better in the suit, because then you can trump and get to the table. So don't think, oh, I haven't got any of them, we'll go no trumps, because it's not a good judgment. If you've got 2 of them, you're better than having none in no trumps, because at least you can get there. Okay? So always think about that. No trumps is good, but you have to think about entries. And if they've got a long solid suit or a long suit, they might not have another entry. They've only got 5 to 7 points. If they've got 2 of the top honours, that's either 5 or 7. You know, it's just in that hand. So don't rescue them.
So how many would you have? And you don't rescue them?
Well, you just pass. You just pass. I mean, unless you've got a hand and you think there's game on, then you bid. Otherwise, you just pass.
So when would you do the no trumps then?
Well, if they open 3 diamonds
Yeah.
and you've got 2 or 3 diamonds and 16 points, and you can go 3 no trumps. But don't do it with
But
a
you have to have
singleton.
15, 16. You have to have
Yeah.
16 points.
Or say they've got with 2 aces. No, have I written it out here? I think it's on the next page. No, where have I written it?
Next one again.
I missed it. I don't know. It's with 2 aces. Maybe I just imagined I wrote that just in my sleep. Oh, it says it's there. There it says. There it is, look.
3 aces or 2 aces.
With 3 aces, or 2 aces and 2 kings, you can raise them. That's what you need if your partner has preempted. Yeah. So that's 12 points, isn't it? And that's 10.
Yeah.
No, 8 and 10 on top. Yeah, 12 points basically. You can raise them to game. So if your partner's preempted and you've got 3 aces, or 2 aces and 2 kings, you can go to either 4 of their major or 3 no trumps if it's in a minor. Remember, you need entries. That's all you need. It's not 15 to 16, it's 12. Yeah?
12 or 14.
Is it not better to have a long suit with a good hand than aces scattered over?
Yeah, but the other person's got the long suit.
Yeah.
This is the responding hand. The other
Oh,
person's
yeah.
got the 7 card suit,
Alright.
and they've got 2 of the top honours. So you know that you're going to be able to make 7 tricks or 6 tricks in that suit alone. And then you've got these 3 aces, so 6 tricks in their suit plus your 3 aces. That's 9, isn't it, for no trumps?
Sometimes when you have that, the 2 of the honors, I mean, you have like ace and a queen or something, and you can't, you don't have that sequence. Sometimes there are difficulties, I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing that makes it difficult is for the opposition. Now, if you're sitting there, they've opened 2 or 3 or whatever, and you're sitting there with a nice hand, it makes it difficult for you to bid, doesn't it? But if you've got a nice 5-card suit of your own, you can come in, especially at the 2 level, you can bid it. The 3 level, it becomes more difficult. And we haven't covered this, but there is in the bidding box a double card, and you can use that to double, to ask your partners to bid. Is this card here? We will do this in another lesson actually. But it is useful if you've got, especially if you've got the other 3 suits and you don't mind which one your partner bids. You can double and say, what do you think, partner? Have you got a suit to bid? And then if they've got some points, but you should remember that they have to bid if you've doubled the preempt, because you're asking them to bid. It's not for penalties. But we will have a whole lesson on doubles. But I just thought I'd mention it today, without getting into too much detail and complication about it. That is a useful bid.
Yeah. But your partner hasn't opened, but we will.
No, no, this is before your partner. So this is the you can't double your partner. Much as O'Malley tried to tell me that you could double your partner, and you wanted to. You cannot double your partner. It's against the rules. You can only double the opposition.
You can only double the person coming up next, isn't it?
Yeah, but
No,
somebody's opened, and you.
So
It can go. So, but we're not. This isn't on doubles. If we want to
let's
confuse
not yet. Let's
everybody.
not worry about it. Yeah.
I just thought I'd mention it because that's one of the things when I came to do this lesson today. I thought, oh, I haven't taught the doubles, so
I mean, generally, if you have an opening hand and they have preempted, then you should be thinking about bidding.